Despite these difficulties, I am convinced that SITF has conducted the most comprehensive investigation ever done of crimes perpetrated in the period after the war ended in Kosovo in June 1999. As a result of this investigation, we believe that SITF will be in a position to file an indictment against certain senior officials of the former Kosovo Liberation Army. These individuals bear responsibility for a campaign of persecution that was directed at the ethnic Serb, Roma, and other minority populations in Kosovo, and toward fellow Kosovo Albanians, whom they labeled either to be collaborators with the Serbs or, more commonly, to have simply been political opponents of the KLA leadership. Accordingly, we anticipate that such charges can be filed in this matter against several senior officials of the former KLA, and that an indictment would also likely include charges for war crimes and certain violations of domestic Kosovo law, including murder. Not to say that this evidence will not come together, and we certainly continue to vigorously pursue it. So by no means have we dismissed the validity of these allegations. While I do not yet feel that there is strong enough evidentiary basis to conclude that indictments can be brought as to this aspect of the case, I do feel a particular obligation to address this issue specifically in light of the attention that has been focused on it. I can say at this point that there are compelling indications that this practice did occur on a very limited scale and that a small number of individuals were killed for the purpose of extracting and trafficking their organs. This conclusion is consistent with what was stated in the Marty report, namely that a handful of individuals were subjected to this crime. The use of the word handful by Senator Marty was intentional and it was meant literally. I think, as I said, handful was meant literally, 10. So I think you're talking about a number less than 10. And I've discussed this with Dick Marty. I think the information that we have is consistent with what he was able to collect. And so that's the approximate range of the number. There, as I said in my remarks, have been some who have indicated that every Serb who went missing or was killed during this period was a victim of organ harvesting and trafficking. There's absolutely no information that supports a claim on that scale. And Dick Marty went to great lengths to explain this when his report was issued. I want to reinforce that point now, because this does cause tremendous distress to the families of the missing. In my interaction with people, I have had tearful encounters with family members who are now imagining that every person who disappeared during that period was subjected to this horrific end. And there's just no evidence that that was the case. This was on a very, very limited scale. And so, as I said in my remarks, exaggerations of those numbers serve no purpose. Be more specific than what I have said, but I will say this, that the individuals that we have looked at were at the senior-most levels of the KLA. Beyond that, I don't feel that I can go any further at this point.